One of the big names in crowdfunding is Kickstarter.com. In the last 5 years, nearly 6 million people have pledged almost $1 billion for projects on the site. That is almost enough money to buy the NBA's most valuable team, the New York Knicks. Yahoo columnist David Pogue tested and reviewed some of the newest high-tech innovations offered on Kickstarter. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Let's just begin with a sense of what Kickstarter is and how it works.
So suppose I'm an inventor and I have a great idea for a new product, or it could be a play or a book. Instead of trying to find backers, I make a little video on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, its rival, and I say, fund me, public, and everybody kicks in 25 bucks, 50 bucks. They're not buying equity in my company. They don't get anything if I become a trillionaire. Maybe I'll send you a t-shirt, or I'll let you have one of my product early, but it's more for the sense of participation. I'm helping a worthy idea find its public.
Incredible. So we have a new headset here that also becomes a 3D television screen?
Yeah, so this is Avant Glyph. This is a typical example. So these are all tiny teams. These aren't big companies, tiny teams of inventors with a good idea. These look like ordinary noise-canceling headphones, but then you rotate it like this, and you're looking at a beautiful 3D movie screen. It looks exactly like you're in the middle of a movie theater. So you'll be able to hook these up to your iPhone or your laptop.
They're in the market now?
No, these will be out, they hope, by Christmas, $500. But the idea is they needed $250,000 to take this to the manufacturing stage. It was so popular on Kickstarter, they got $1.5 million. So that's what you'd call a success story on Kickstarter.
The Pebble Steel smartwatch you also have with you, that got a lot of funding through Kickstarter.
It did. I consider this one of the first really successful smartwatches. It's very small, it's very sleek. You can have different watch faces, and it even runs apps. So for example, I can control my thermostat at home with this. There's all kinds of fitness apps and so on. So it's $250, completely waterproof. You can swim with it and shower with it. And it never would have happened. Yes, it's yours, Charlie. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. After all, I am Carolinian of the Year.
And I'm breathing the same air as you.
He's decided to celebrate a little bit early.
There's also the Drowsiness Detector.
Yeah, so this is a wild idea. It's called the Vigo. It was originally called the Invigo until they realized that's the name of a male stimulant pill. But it's a drowsiness detector that uses a camera on the end of a stalk to look at your blink rate, how often you're blinking and the speed of your blinking, and it detects when you're falling asleep. So there are other things intended.
Do you really need that?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, what's the purpose of that?
Actually, if you are a truck driver or a taxi driver or a security guard, you might be required to wear one. And the statistics for the number of Americans who fall asleep behind the wheel are astonishing. One of my own family members, who shall remain nameless, has fallen asleep.
But he or she knows.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what?
So this is an example of a Kickstarter project that didn't get its funding. This is a very elegant iPad stand, so you can read while you're eating or look at recipes. It has these simple, quick adjust knobs, adjust it to any angle. And there's a bunch of iPad stands, but none that are that easy to adjust. And,
so why didn't it catch on with Kickstarter?
I'm baffled by that. It's 70 bucks, nice. So it's within line. It's quite heavy and aluminum and beautiful. So the guy will probably now regroup and figure out why it didn't catch on.
And then Charlie and I are both pointing at this. I love this gadget. You can pay for things without a credit card. Is this the future?
I think it is. The guy who invented the credit card reader 40 years ago has now come up with the loop. It has a scanner on the back, so you take your credit cards and you teach it all your credit cards. Then this can actually be detached, and you pay for things wirelessly. You hold it near the credit card scanner, and at that point, the scanner thinks that you've swiped your card.
Okay, but what if you lose that and someone else plugs it into their...
Well, you can set a time limit for how long it will work once detached from your phone. So 10 minutes if you're handing it to a waiter, 8 hours if you're handing it to your teenager, and so on.
So which of these would you most like to have?
I actually I don't think I would find any use for these headphones. I definitely could use that iPad holder for, you know, like when I'm baking or something like that. And that loop is fantastic.
It's amazing that it transmits the signal wirelessly. And the cool thing is, we at Yahoo Tech are the only ones reviewing Kickstarter prototypes. In other words, if you're someone who might want to fund one of these projects, how do you know if it's any good?
And maybe they'll come back and say, that's not a bad idea, so why don't we fund it? One that had been unable to get funding.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Way to get in the Yahoo thing there, David. Nice work. Nice work, Dave.
It's my new gig.
Take care. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here.